Hey guys, have you noticed sometimes writings in English like short stories or novels or novellas written by Indian writers have an Indian flavor to it, and we just love this flavor, we enjoy it. So that is. Yes, that is called the Indianized setting or an Indianized style to that writing. Similarly, if you read a piece of English story or a novel written by a Chinese writer, I'm sure you must have come across references to Chinese food, or the way they talk, some terms, places in China, or how they address each other in China. Similarly, if it is written by a Japanese writer, so yes, you'll definitely get like references to places in Japan, or the way they call each other, or a term here and there. Maybe in English, yes, the writing is in English, but you get this flavor. You get a Japanese flavor. If that English piece of writing is written by an Italian writer, 100% you're going to get an Italiano flavor to it. So yes, we like it, we do like it, we enjoy it. It gives us a sense of belonging. So if you are an Indian, it will give you a sense of belonging. If you are an Italian reading an English novel written by an Italian writer, it will definitely give you a sense of familiarity. Yes, and we love it. We love it. And right now, English has become a global language. So it's no more like, limited to the King's English and Queen's English. No, English belongs to, like, this language belongs to every country, everyone. So in today's video, you must be wondering what I'm going to do in today's video. But in today's video, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to help you, I'm going to teach you a little about how to Indianize a piece of English writing. Yes, the writing is written by an English writer, that we are going to learn how to give it an Indian flavor. So this giving an Indian flavor or style to it is called Indianization. Now, why do you need to learn this craft? First of all, yes, it comes as a project in many classes, is high school definitely, and mainly the senior classes, like in class 11 or class 12, or maybe in college if you're doing literature. So it comes as your project work, where you have to give a piece of English writing an Indian flavor. So let's learn this craft. Hey guys, I welcome each one of you back to my channel, that is Unique English with Nilanjana ma'am. And in case you're visiting this channel for the first time, let me tell you, I am Nilanjana ma'am. Yes, I'm a school teacher. I help you with different things related to English, mainly poems, prose, grammar, vocabulary projects, and these stuff. And in case you haven't subscribed till now, do consider subscribing and motivate me, this teacher. Yes, and my friends and viewers who know me already, this is my new shelf that I have put up. I'm trying to arrange it. It's still, well, the work is going on, and this shelf I mainly want to in this shelf I mainly want to put all my English books together. So I have been trying to do it. The work is still going on. Very little books right now in my collection. So this time I wanted to make two separate shelves, one for my Bengali things and the other for my English books. So getting it ready, and when it's done, I'll definitely take you around my shelf and give you book recommendations. So work is still going on. So let's get started with this video. Okay friends, very quickly I'm going to read out just a few lines to tell you about this Indian flavor. Please listen. The coolie flattened his turban to make a cushion, hoisted the steel trunk on his head, and moved down the platform. So you see the writing starts, the paragraph starts with the word, the kuli. Now, kuli is an Indian word. All right. Now, flattened his turban. So, turban or the pagdi, that is also an Indian piece of piece of clothing. All right. So, hoisted the steel trunk on his head and moved down the platform. Lady Lal picked up her brass tiffin carrier and ambled along behind him. On the way, she stopped by a hawker's stall to replenish her silver betel leaf case. Betel leaf case. Betel is pan, right? So that is again an Indian flavor to the writing. And then joined the coolie. She sat down on her steel trunk and started talking to him. So the next one. Lady Lal opened the brass carrier and took out a bundle of cramped chapatis and some mango pickle. So you got chapatis and mango pickle, which is typical, North Indian, Indian food. Yes. So you got the Indian flavor, right? So that is the way you have to turn a piece of English, typical English writing into an Indianized way of English writing. Okay, so that was a sample reading, and now I'm going to tell you about the technique. Guys, the first thing that you need to remember is that Indian flavor means it has an Indian variety. So there should be these Indian terms and all, so, and it should be made to look different from the native English. The way the English people talk and all. So the first thing is choice of words. So you got to change certain words and terms, like for instance, names of the characters. So when you are changing a piece of writing from English, way of writing to the Indianized version, so first thing that you do is change the names of the characters. Okay, so second thing is the way they call each other, like the relations. For instance, Sharma ji, or Uncle ji, Auntie ji, Papa ji, Amma ji, or Mummy ji. So using these in your writing, or in that so using these in that given piece of writing. The second technique is food. Changing food, or food items. Okay, so we can use like food. So whenever you have references to food and all, so we got to change that. So change those English food or food items into the Indian. So depending on the background of the people and what they would like to eat or what they should be eating at that time. So so just now I read for you like chapatis or mango pickle, or so if it is like if you have turned the characters into like South Indian characters, then you can give then you can mention food items like rice and sambar, or dosa, or fresh chutney, or the coconut chutney, or this idli, these things. So if it is if the characters belong to northern part of India, then definitely roti or chapati or whatever sabji, or stuff like these, or it can be a tandoori or a mughlai or a biryani. So depending on the characters and their eating habits, you can do that. Okay, next is using terms like like bandh for strike, or lockdown or something. Using terms like say for instance the workers sat down in dharna because they were revolting against against the factory owners or something. So using a term like dharna. Okay, so instead of say a protest or an agitation, like that. Then third one is furniture pieces. So furniture pieces like for instance a divan with with cushions and pillows, or for instance a cot, or for instance steel almirah, like that. Then using terms like for instance lathi charge. Okay, so lathi, lathi, these things. Then you can also use fabrics and materials like khadi, or these stuff. So whatever comes to your mind, whatever that is Indian, okay, something like that. And then you can also use terms like for instance taxi wala, or paper wala, or for instance the village, the village panchayat took a decision like so and so. So using terms like panchayat and then taxi wala or paper wala, so this wala wala suffix, completely Indian flavor. Then well, definitely the scenic background or names of trees and plants and flowers, so Indian. Okay, and then also keeping in mind the socio-cultural ways and rituals and customs, or for instance Rath Yatra. So yes, the procession of the Rath Yatra is, it was a lovely sight or whatever. So Rath Yatra, or for instance the Vaishno Devi Yatra, like that. So these are, they bring Indian flavor to your to that English piece of writing. And then names of rivers, names of say for instance a town or a bridge, or name of an industry or a factory, names of places, names of name of a festival. So an Indian festival, an Indian ritual, an Indian flower, a typical Indian tree, say for instance a marigold tree or the neem tree, the jamun tree, the jasmine tree. These are all Indian. They give this, they lend this Indian flavor to that English piece of writing. So if you read writings of say for instance R.K. Narayan or Mulk Raj Anand, or Khushwant Singh. Friends, I'd like to share with you another example, this time from Ruskin Bond. Yes, this time from Ruskin Bond, The Blue Umbrella. So see the writing, the story starts like this. Neelu, Neelu, cried Binya. She scrambled barefoot over the rocks, ran over the short summer grass, up and over the brow of the hill, all the time calling Neelu, Neelu, Neelu. Blue was the name of the blue-grey cow. The other cow, which was white, was called Gori, meaning fair one. So we all know Gora or Gori means the fair one, okay, white skin, okay. So that is also an Indian flavor, because Gori is a Hindi word. So that is used by, Ruskin Bond. With that, we come to an end of this video, and I'm going to give you a slide which is going to function like an example of of Oscar Wilde's The Selfish Giant into an Indianized version. So let's try to give it an Indian flavor. So stay tuned and just follow the slide.